Today I'm going to be taking apart this DVD player. So starting off with just looking at the back panel of this DVD player, you can see these different ports here, different colored ports. Starting from this side, digital out coaxial. So when you plug in a coaxial cable here, this just sends out audio signals as encrypted zeros and ones, so binary files. Then these two here say right and left audio. So they split up the audio into the left and right ear, and they send two separate audio signals accordingly. Next are the video and picture functions ports. So starting from this side, component video out. So these three different cables, they basically split up videos into three different parts. One for brightness, which is this one, and two for the varying color and hues. So these are all separate cables, and they split up videos into separate parts. Line out video, this combines the color and the brightness functions into one cable, so it's much easier, but it's not as clear or sharp or defined. This does something similar where it combines color and sharpness, but these are less sharp than the three component video cables. Starting from this back panel, there are some tabs here that we can pull out and pull out this back panel, and then we can look at the circuits inside and see how this thing works. So after taking off the top of the DVD player, we can now see the inside of the DVD, and we're going to start exploring each circuit and what they do to find out how this DVD actually works. So I'm going to first start off on the right side of the DVD player with the power supply. So in this power supply, you can see the plug here. This is our standard plug in the wall plug that takes in AC voltage, from the outlet, and the circuit here transforms that AC current into DC voltage. So how that works, starting off with what AC and DC means, if you don't know, stands for alternating current, and DC stands for direct current. AC sends out pulses of signals. That's why it's called alternating, and it'll actually produce a sine wave, a sine graph, where it increases, decreases, increases, decreases, and those are the pulses of signal. They're more used for long distant connections. Like for example, our power lines, they use AC current because it's more efficient. On the other hand, you have DC currents, DC voltages, which are a steady stream of voltage that doesn't fluctuate at all. So to power this certain machine, you need DC voltage for a steady supply of energy to power it. So this circuit here the main function of it is to transform AC voltage into DC voltage. So how it does that is, you see these little blue things here? These are called capacitors. They actually stabilize the AC signal and stabilize it so that it can be transformed into DC voltage. These right here are inductors. They take in the AC voltage, and they're the ones that are transforming it. You can see these little tiny coils on the inductors. These help transform, and these are big capacitors that store that voltage and discharge it at certain points, which is helping stabilize the voltage. Next, you have this flyback transformer. This you can't really see inside, but this thing is just a big coil that takes in that transformed AC voltage and amplifies that DC voltage for a usable energy for the machine to run. So say you transformed 5 volts of AC into 5 volts of DC. with 5 volts, you can't really power this whole machine here, right? So this flyback takes that 5 volts and amplifies it to 20 volts, which is usable. So that's what this thing does. And this cable here is what connects that voltage and powers the rest of the machine. Next, onto the DVD drive mechanism. So when you insert a DVD into a DVD player, the DVD rotates with the step motor here. As the DVD slowly rotates, there are laser encoders that read the DVD signal and transform it into readable and transform it so that this circuit here can read it and output the desired signals. So they use laser diodes and photoelectric diodes to do this. Okay, now onto the motherboard. This right here is the microprocessor. This is the main component of the motherboard that helps us listen to audio and watch video from DVD players. So you see these cables here, these are called ribbon cables. They're connected from the DVD and they send the signals that I was talking about before, the audio signals and video signals, to the motherboard to read. This microprocessor here collects the signals coming in and outputs it, sends output signals to the cable, the output cables here, right? So if you plugged in a coaxial cable, for example, you would hear audio, the audio signals that this microprocessor read, or you would be able to watch the video signals from the microprocessor here. And you can also see an array of these capacitors. And these capacitors, they actually help stabilize the signals. So if you have audio signals coming in, they're never perfect, right? That's why you hear static sometimes, right? These diodes help alleviate that from happening, and they stabilize the signal so that this microprocessor can read it easier. Next, let's go to this top circuit board here. So if I flip the DVD around, you can see all these buttons here, right? Obviously, you have opening the casket so you can insert your CD or DVD, pausing, rewinding, and things of that nature. So the way that these buttons help execute their functions is through this circuit board here, right? So essentially what will happen is if I click the pause button, for example, you can see a little lever clicking onto an actual printed button on the circuit board. Same goes for this side, this button here. You can see that button getting clicked through this lever right here, and here, and also these top buttons here. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So once you click the button, the signal will travel through this circuit board here and across this bridge rectifier. And after it crosses this side onto this board, these tiny microprocessors here help read and output the function that you clicked up here. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this DVD player. Thanks.